Well, you're on the John Fredericks Media Network and the John Fredericks Radio app, and we're taking your calls because we're in Indiana. We're on the bus. We're on the Trump bus. TGIF. The truth is right here. I'm trucking it every day. Your Godzilla of the truth in America. The truth, my friends, sometimes painful, will set you free, as you know. That's why we're opening up the phone lines for you. This is your community, your show. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. But you know what's so great about this? My Eden Pure Gen 40 Super Heater. Larry loves this heater. Larry, we're toasty warm in here. No heat. Don't have to run the propane. All we got to do is get our Gen 40 heater, hit the on button, 1,000 feet. It's warm and toasty, and it's infrared heating. It's not that heat that, blows out and dries out your skin. No. It's the best heater you're ever going to get. The compact, powerful infrared heat. Now, you can save $50 right now with promo code Godzilla50. Promo code Godzilla50. This is the new Gen 40 Plus heater. Get this for $174 with my promo code. And guess what? Newsflash, you're going to save that in 3 months heat bills, and you have it forever. You already paid for it in 3 months. All you got to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com. EdenPureDeals.com. If you have a TV or a screen, I got the QR code right there. Just go to EdenPureDeals.com. Promo code Godzilla50, and it's the best thing you're ever going to get. As soon as Ryan got back, he had to go back today. He said, as soon as I get home, I'll get my Gen 40 heater, because he sees it here in the Trump bus. It's so warm, and it's just perfect. And I put the heat on. You know how much money we've saved in propane in 2 weeks with our Gen 40 heater? A lot. Probably enough to pay for it, just a propane. Gen 40, baby. EdenPureDeals.com, promo code Godzilla50. You're good to go. Okay, we've got KC Crosbie coming up here in a minute. We've got a couple more calls. Let's get to Murray in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Line 2. Murray, you're live. Go.
John?
Yes, sir.
John, thank you for what you do. You're a real inspiration to a lot of us people out here, but I would like to ask you, what was the motive for the Congress people in Indiana to do what they did? Why did they do this?
Well, the state senators wanted to stick it to Trump and stick it to MAGA and basically get the New York Times writing nice things about him. They have written us off, and they have written off President Trump as a lame duck president with a disintegrating movement. We lost 4 votes after the Miami results and the Georgia special election on Tuesday. They don't fear us. They don't fear the president. They think we're done. And so they're going back to their comfort level. George Bush, the other George Bush, Karl Rove, Romney, they're all going back to that. Todd Young, that's their comfort zone. And that's what happened. And they basically gave us and MAGA and President Trump the middle finger. They have no fear. They think we're done. I mean, this is what happened yesterday. You can spin it any way you want. I'm here. They had no fear of us. And they don't think we're going to primary them. And if they do, they think they're going to win. And they wanted to do what they thought was an independent move. And they're different and this and that. And basically the rhinos are handing the communists the country. That's what happened.
CNN as guest. I am sick in my stomach, and I am scared for our country.
Yeah, you got to take me off the speaker, and you got to speak directly into the phone, because we're getting the feedback from your speaker. Okay, so just take me off the speaker and speak in your phone. Well, look, you ought to be scared. This is, of all the things that happened to us, losing. Not only we didn't get 26 votes, we lost the Republican Senate Conference 21-19. Unheard of. Now, when I got here, I knew 2 weeks ago we had about a 20% chance of winning, but I thought it would be at least close, that we'd have a fighting chance. So we had a bunch of strategies in place to get to 26 if we could get to 24. 3. We got the 19. It's an embarrassment. There's no way to spin this thing. Okay, they sold out, and and the speeches, like the groveling nonsense I heard yesterday from these rhinos, and then the one guy, Greg Wright, crying. I just get away, just retire, get out of the game. But we got to fight, man. We got to fight, and I'm telling you, we got to fight. Go ahead.
I told a local Congress state representative here in Pennsylvania, you need to get your wallet out and look at your voting registration card, because you're sure not voting that way.
Well, when they smell blood in the water, okay, they smell blood. They think they're going to get their party back. The globalists, the rhinos, the Romneys, the Bushes, the Roves, they think they're getting it back. They think our movement is waning. That's why President Trump's got to get out there. And I understand he's going to North Carolina next week. He's got to ramp it up. And we've got to start connecting again. Prices have got to come down. We got to solve this healthcare disaster, which we can't seem to do. This is no longer about ideology. This is about results now. It's all about results. The ideology we solved in 2024. Now it's about results. We got to deliver. And right now we're not, to the extent that people want. Thank you. Let's get to, hang in there, Casey. We're going to get right to you. Let's get to Paul in Georgia, line 3. And tell her, bring Casey in. We'll make her part of the calls. Casey Crosbie with us. She is the co-chair of the Republican National Committee. Casey, great to have you with us. You look super as always. Let's get to Paul in Georgia. Paul, you're on with John and Casey Crosbie. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, John. Hey, John. What concerns me is that it seems like the system is broke, John, and it doesn't seem like we're really addressing fixing the system. And what do I mean by that? First of all, the media is 100% all in on the Democrats, no matter what Trump does. And Trump has done so many good things. We never hear about it. We never get any good stories about all the great things Trump is doing. And, so that's number one. But here's the part of the system that I think we've got to think through. We've got to learn how to fix the funding source. The Democrats spend money and they buy votes and they take care of their donors, so they get a lot of money. They even provide money for the rhinos, which is why the rhinos keep siding with the Democrats. We say it all the time. You say it all the time. Why are these Republicans siding with the Democrats? Well, it's easy. The Democrats give them money. They give them stuff all the time. They help their donors. Look at Pelosi with the $1 trillion budget that just was the biggest giveaway and the biggest inflation mess ever. And the rhinos love that. That's why they don't like when the Republicans are in charge, because all the Republicans want to do is shrink government. They want to cut government. They want to cut all these stupid, corrupt programs that the Democrats put in place. But when the Democrats,
you're right, Paul. I hear what you're saying. Let's get Casey involved here. RNC co-chair Casey Crosbie. Casey, as always, thanks for being with us. We're getting callers all day. Our base is really upset over what happened in Indiana, the string of losses we had, the debacle in Miami, the lack of a message. I'm going to give you an opportunity here to tell us what we got to do going forward to right this ship, Casey.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that it was disappointing what happened in Indiana. And I think that what we're hearing, I mean, even Governor Braun came out and said, these elections have consequences, and all the people who voted against supporting President Trump, they should be primaried and they should be out of there. I mean, we are fighting. We are on the offense. And we have to show that we deserve to be in these positions, and we have to go after people who aren't supporting President Trump's agenda. And it's pretty simple. I mean, our goal at the RNC is to make sure that President Trump is a 4-year president, and we're going to do whatever we have to do to make sure that we're winning elections so that we have his agenda for a full 4 years.
All right, KC, let's get to Steve in Virginia, line 1. Steve, around with John and RNC co-chair KC Crosbie. Go ahead, Steve, in Virginia.
Yeah, thanks, John. Just two things, real quick. Every time the government gets involved in anything, they screw it up. Number one. And
Okay.
number two.
All right.
Yesterday, when everybody was thinking about and paying attention to Indiana and whether or not the judges are going to let cameras in Charlie Kirk's trial, Congress passed the NDAA. 4 years, we have been funneling money into Ukraine. In the NDAA, they had a provision to funnel another $400 million for the next 2 years into Ukraine.
Let's get, thank you. To answer your question, Tyler, yes. Let's get KC to react to this. KC, our listeners, I'm just telling you what our listeners are saying, okay? Doesn't mean it's our position or anything else. But we're hearing 3 things. 1, there's not enough focus on the economy. 2, they're sick of Ukraine, sick of Zelensky, sick of Putin, sick of giving Ukraine money. 3, the Israel fatigue has hit its apex. My listeners are done with Israel. The overwhelming majority of them, our listeners under 30, are done with Israel. They have Israel fatigue. They don't want to talk about it. They're done. They want growth, prosperity, jobs, and then H-1B visas is a real issue with my listeners. So I'm going to give you a chance to respond to this, because the problem is now showing up as we're losing election after election after election. This is just reality. I mean, we're getting our tails kicked everywhere, culminating by the sellout we had of our own conference in Indiana yesterday. Casey, go ahead.
Yeah, so listen, Indiana, we discussed. I mean, you even mentioned it before I came on. I was listening to you, and we had a bunch of sellouts who care more about whether or not they have the New York Times commenting on what they're doing and the right thing they're doing, and they went against their party. And certainly we have had the leadership of our party come out and say that there are consequences to elections and there's consequences to votes. And again, the governor of Indiana, the president, the administration, they've been very clear that those people will face the consequences via primary. And so, we're all on board for setting President Trump's agenda and supporting his agenda. And as far as the economy goes, I think we're going to see, the president has been working around the clock doing fantastic things, and we're 1 year into this administration. And if you look moving into 2026, we're going to start seeing the benefits of the big, beautiful bill. The no tax on tips, the reduction in taxes overall. It's going to start hitting people in their pocketbooks. Look at gas prices. Look at eggs have gone down. We heard that the first 48 hours when President Trump was sworn in. People were like, well, he hasn't lowered egg prices. And he was able to do that very quickly. You just go down the line, the tariffs and the investment coming back into our country. It's amazing what he's been able to accomplish, but the problem is we do have elected officials who have not been fully supportive of his agenda. And that's why we have to work so hard during these midterms. So all of the issues that you mentioned all comes down to candidates and making sure that we are electing good people who support President Trump and the agenda and can get things done for the American people.
Are you happy with our messaging, Casey?
Yeah, I'm extremely happy with our messaging. At the Republican National Committee, we work seamlessly with the White House, and we make sure that we are, working hard on all these issues and communicating with our voters. And, I would encourage people, because I know oftentimes they don't know what we're doing. And again, I don't want to mince my words. We work seamlessly. There is no daylight between the RNC and the White House. Our agenda is the president's agenda, and our direction is coming to make from the White House to make sure that President Trump is a 4-year president. So I do not want to mince my words there. So when people come after attacking, saying the Republican Party or the Republican National Committee is not doing things, we are doing exactly and implementing the strategy that we need to do to make sure that we make President Trump a 4-year president. Pure and simple.
We're chatting with Casey Crosbie. She's the co-chair of the Republican National Committee. Joe Gruters is the chairman. So, Casey, going forward, I know that a lot of us are anticipating the president getting out more, talking about the economy, doing more rallies, campaigning. I think it was Susie Wiles who said on one of the shows that she was on that she's encouraged the president to campaign in 26 like he did in 24. Do you see that coming down the pike? I know I heard he's going to be in North Carolina next week for one.
Yeah, we're really excited about the fact that President Trump is going to be out on the campaign trail. I mean, again, we need to make sure that we are supporting his agenda. He increased in every single demographic in 2024. I mean, he won the popular vote, he won the electoral vote, and he's a very popular president. He identifies with people, and I think it's going to be crucial that President Trump is out. And I'm excited that Susie said that he was going to be on the campaign trail over the next several months, helping out our candidates, and also making sure that in places where we have tough primaries, that we have good candidates getting through. And so I'm really excited about that opportunity. And I think it's also an opportunity for him to go out and talk about all the great things that his administration has done, as well as how we work with the Republican Party to make sure that we're winning these elections. So we're really excited about it. As we all know, there is no one who can communicate a message better than President Trump.
If you want to talk to us and chat with Casey Crosbie and I, phone lines are open, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Give us a call, 888-480-5646. Tara will put it on the Chiron there. Thank you. So, Casey, let me bring up another couple issues. And thanks for being with us today, Casey. I really do appreciate it. As you should know, and everyone knows, I've been the biggest advocate of embracing early voting for our base than anybody in America. We did it in Pennsylvania. We got to 38%. That's how we were able to win Pennsylvania in 2024 and some of these other states. Okay, states that have mail-in ballots can't change it between now and November. So you got to get in the game. Here it is again. We are getting killed with early ballots and mail-in ballots. Killed. We got killed in Miami. That's how we lost that mayor's race. We got killed in that special in Georgia. That's how we got beat there. In Nashville, even though we won that race by 10 with Van Epps, let me just give you this number, okay? In Nashville, where we own a business, right? The crackpot nutball communist Democrat won Nashville 18,000 to 3,000 early votes. That's 85-15. You can't sustain that if you don't have a Trump plus 20 district like we did there. So I want to know, what is the RNC doing? When are we going to get in the game and get an early balloting, harvesting, mail-in operation going to compete with them?
Well, I'm really glad you brought up the example of the Tennessee 7 race. And what a lot of people don't realize is, yeah, we did not win the early vote there, but you also have to understand that that was a special election, and they did not get federal funding for the special election. And so the state law dictates that the local, for lack of a better term, I don't know what they call them in Tennessee, but Board of Elections can determine how they're going to run, what hours the early voting is going to take place. And we saw some of the more rural Republican, very red districts, they may have had one early voting location open, and sometimes they were only open, say, from 9 to noon every day, where in the precincts in Nashville, they may have had 7 early voting locations open, extended hours all day. I mean, the math just isn't math there when you have people who can't go vote after 5 o'clock or late afternoon because the voting location in the Republican county was closed down at noon. obviously you're going to see lower votes, early voting in those locations. And so, that is something that has been flagged with us. But, we spend a lot of money. What people don't understand is it costs us a lot of money to get people out to vote. And so when we're chasing you down, when you don't go out and early vote, and then you're complaining that you're getting text messages and phone calls and people at your door, those are resources that we have to use to chase down voters. So we are actively engaged in getting people in every election out to early vote and to follow what is acceptable in their states. And you mentioned it. We don't necessarily like it. I mean, it would be great if we could just vote on election day, but that's not the case right now. As dictated by state laws. And so we are working within every single state. And frankly, as you know, it's a lot to manage. I mean, we're already involved in 140 election integrity lawsuits at the RNC since last January. We've done 48 Freedom of Information requests for voter rolls. We are actively engaged in a lot of litigation to make sure that we are protecting the vote. And it is the number one priority at the RNC.
Well, the Democrats have perfected a mail-in ballot, absentee ballot harvesting machine, which is legal in the states they do and is perfectly legal. But they're taking advantage of it, Casey, and we're not. And a lot of it is not your fault. A lot of it is our base that is still, determined to vote on game day because, Pulitzer or somebody told them about algorithms and servers on the moon and gun battles in Frankfurt or whatever other nonsense they're spewing out to get clicks and make money, which is killing the movement. And so we just got to get in the game here. Look, Casey, I coach basketball. You got to get in the game and deal with the team and who's on the court. And right now, it is what it is. We'd all like one day voting. We'd all like a day off. We'd all like to do this and that. We don't have that. It is what it is. You've got to play the hand you're dealt, and hopefully we can get in the game. All right, we got a couple calls here for you. People want to talk to you because you're Casey Crosby, right? I don't blame them. I'd want to talk to you too. Let's get to Al in Tennessee, line 2. Al, you live? Hey, Al, my Titans won a game. Now, here's what it means. It means now we're not getting the first round draft pick. So what the hell good was that win? I don't want to win any games. I want to lose. So I get a pick. So maybe by the time I'm 75, we'll get in the playoffs again. Al, go ahead.
That's the way I look at it. The heck with them. But anyway, what's the RNC doing? Do they have the capability of sending out mailers in every district, reaching out to their constituents out there in other counties and states to send out mailers about who's acceptable Republican for running and sending out printouts of it to people that are Republican voters. Sending it out so that these people will know who they can trust and who they can't, because most of them are a bunch of chicken shit Republicans.
All right,
and that's
Al,
about the way I feel about it.
Al, thank you. And let's hope the Titans keep losing so we can get a better draft pick. And just for the record, Vandy got screwed in the playoffs. Go ahead, Casey.
So we work really closely with our state parties as well as our outside constituency. We have great partnerships with outside groups, Faith and Freedom, Turning Point, and certainly we invest a lot of money making sure that we are communicating who the best person is on the ballot to run. And again, our partners help us out quite a bit there. And as I mentioned, people have really no idea how much money it costs us to chase down voters, to even get them out to vote. When you look at some of these places you mentioned earlier in the show, voter turnout was extremely low. We're having to spend incredible amounts of resources to go out and get people to actually go out and vote. And the one thing I can say is if people want to see President Trump's agenda move forward, they've got to go vote, even though he is not on the ballot. But his agenda is on the ballot. And if we don't want him to be impeached, the consequences are huge if we don't win these midterms. And so we've got to get people out to vote, and we have to make sure that we have great candidates on the ballots running.
Well, listen, we all know, Casey, what you just said is reality. If we lose the midterms in the House of Representatives, I'm convinced we're going to keep the U.S. Senate. But if we lose these midterms, they're going to impeach Trump on the third day. And basically, he's not going to get anything done. Everybody's going to get dragged in the hearings. I mean, it's just going to be the same nonsense all over again that we had. That's why this is so critical. We were not successful in Indiana. We are going to pick up a seat in North Carolina. We get to 5 in Texas. Virginia, if it's not put off till 28 in the courts, we're toast there. We're going to lose 4 seats. No way to stop it. And you know what's interesting? The Democrats in Virginia, they're going to ram this thing through in their General Assembly. They're not even going to give the Republicans 6 seconds to battle this thing. They're going to hit the gavel, pass it, give us the middle finger and laugh. That's the difference between who we're fighting. I mean, you go through this nonsense in Indiana where I got, rhinos up there like Greg Wright crying his eyes out about, what's he going to tell his kids? What am I going to tell my grandkids about democracy if I don't stay? I mean, like, get out of my face, dude. What is wrong with these people?
I wish I knew what was wrong with them. And it's very frustrating because, like you said, the math should have worked for us in Indiana. Unfortunately, we had some people who just didn't have the backbone to do it. But I think they're going to face some pretty heavy consequences via primaries for their next cycle.
Casey, what states we have coming up where we can gain seats? Missouri, Florida, give us a little
Yeah, we're looking at everywhere. I mean, obviously, we have to take advantage and work where we have people who have the backbone and the fortitude to do this. I mean, and this is a combat game, and we're on the offense, and anywhere we can pick up things, we are certainly looking at our options. And I know that the Republican National Committee and the White House are working together to make sure that if there is opportunity, that we're seizing on that. And and I think too, some of these people in other states, these elected officials, are starting to see that their votes have consequences, and we're not going to be playing like we have in the past, where we're very polite. If you are a Republican, if you are not supporting, we should have one mission only. And we have a lot of Republicans who aren't supportive of the mission. And so we need to make sure that we have people who are supporting President Trump's agenda. And so anywhere we have opportunity, we are certainly looking into it.
So, Casey, tell us our target list of states as you're aware of them. We know.
So right now, yeah, you named them, and those are certainly areas that we are looking at. I mean, again, everything's on the table, and I'm not going to get ahead of President Trump in the White House on identifying where they're looking next to see where we can possibly pick up some things. But certainly that is on the agenda, and those are the discussions going on right now between our organization.
Casey, how do we turn the corner in your judgment and hold the House for the midterms?
Listen, I think President Trump, his agenda and what we've seen with the big, beautiful bill moving forward, we're going to start seeing the impact of that, and people are going to feel it in their pocketbooks. I laugh because I hear the Democrats talking about affordability. They created the problem. I mean, under Biden, we had, record high inflation, and look what President Trump's been able to do in just a few short months. I mean, people are going to start feeling things in their pocketbooks positively moving into 2026. They're going to be happy. I mean, certainly he's kept the campaign promise. The border is closed. You look month after month, 0 illegal crossings. And we are somehow managing to implement a lot of his agenda, sometimes with very slim margins. And so I think going into 2026, we're going to have a story to tell, and people are going to be feeling the benefits of President Trump's agenda and the legislation that's gotten passed. And I think it's going to work out very well for us going into the midterms.
Casey Crosbie, co-chair, Republican National Committee. Casey, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on today. It's a tough day for a lot of us, and I really, really appreciate you coming on, your candor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
They want to follow you, Casey. They want to follow you, what's going on in the RNC. Casey, where do they go?
So my X account is Casey, just a K and a C, for GOP. The number 4, not FOR, but for GOP.
All right, Casey, thank you. And look, a lot of people in your position, they don't want to come on. They don't want to take phone calls. They don't want to, hear what the base has to say. But this is what we do here. We have to be able to talk to our base. And if they're dispirited, we got to be able to have a dialogue. And that's really what's going on now. So I really want to
love it. I'm always willing to come on, and I love listening to the grassroots. And We're out working hard. And I just also want to suggest that if people want to know what's going on with election integrity and following different states, I would really encourage them to go to protectthevote.com, and they can get on and they can see updates on all the different lawsuits we're engaged in. They can figure out what's going on in their state. I mean, we do have some wonderful resources that I know the grassroots just aren't connected with. And I think that it's really beneficial for them when they go out and need to communicate a message about what we're doing. So I would encourage everybody to go look at that website and sign up.
Casey, thank you. Early voting is the key. And until somebody can find me that server on the moon, got to vote early and get in the game. Casey, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. We'll be right back.